Hey, all Bomber's Garage. Once again, we're chatting with Roger Rosebush of Rosebush Racing, and it's another wagon. And I'm stoked about this one. It's pretty freaking cool. Enjoy, y'all. All right, Roger. What have we got here?
All right, we got a 1957 150 handyman wagon. GM at this time, basically, they called it a handyman because let's say if you're a fix-up guy or a handyman, you actually threw all of your tools in the back end, and you either had a bench seat in most cases or a set of bucket seats in some cases with a small block Chevrolet or maybe even a six-cylinder like you were talking.
Yes, sir.
And you use that as your work truck. They're quite light. They're very classic in their design, the shapes. It's pretty hard to meet or to change the characteristics of a 57 Chevy and make it any better than what GM did.
Definitely.
If you notice in the engine area, this was outfitted to put a big 632-inch motor in it. If you notice, if you had a V8, you got 3 inches longer with a big block Chevrolet, and you got to modify if you're going to put that type of equipment in here.
Got to get in that firewall.
So you can fit it in there and burn the tires off of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can see this is obviously a project car. Needs to be welded back together in a number of different ways. But it's pretty much all here, and it's how we like to start a project. Pretty tough shape, but we got a clean title, and we've got a project that'll take up some time, and we know where all the nuts and bolts and screws go. Like behind you, there's a lot of nuts and bolts and screws, right? Look at there.
Look.
So we have the proper ones for the GM applications more than anything.
Yes, sir.
So that way we know they're gonna hold everything in place and the fender won't fall off going down the road.
Yes, sir. With this one, so do you have the interior and chrome pieces and everything already for it?
Let me show you. They need a restoration. You can see that this is a very rare front seat and the actual rear seat.
Yes.
Like anything, the cloth and everything has got aged over time.
Yes, sir.
So we'll take that, strip all of that apart. Then we sandblast the frame itself. Then we take the Linwood upholstery, and we have Dave up there, Dave Julian.
Yes.
Will actually make that stuff look as beautiful as
He did the seat for my Harley.
Oh, did he?
Yes,
he
indeed.
Does the seats. Well, he did the seat for the '59 Pontiac. So
That's-
you know, he's a real crafty guy. He's a motorcycle guy too.
Yes, sir.
In this basic area. So,
And do you have all the glass and everything for this?
you know what? I've got actually, I've got all of the nuts and bolts and screws and pieces for the car here. I am missing a couple pieces of glass, but you'd be surprised. You can buy brand new glass for these vehicles very inexpensively. It's not scratched. It can be tinted if you like
Yes,
a
sir.
green tint or a gray tint. So, yeah, I'm going to say all of the tough parts, the metal parts, all of that. Your spare tire compartment. Here's all of the numbers. If you want to really get after the numbers or maybe the assembly part of this, we've got all them documents here to help us put it back together.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, I'm not the guy that took this car apart, but I've done enough 55 to 7s to know basically where things
To know
go.
what you-
But
yes.
if you take something apart, let's say you take something apart, and I got to put it back together, it's much more difficult to do that than if I take it apart and I can bag it and tag it and do that kind of thing.
Yes, sir. And I imagine doing one of these, as many as you've done, is like just seeing an old friend again.
Yeah, oh, it is. That's why I took this one in on trade. I thought, you know what, if I'm going to look at something, it's going to look cool, and it's going to remind me of when, we were younger doing this stuff for the first time.
Yes, sir. Now, where? So, will this one be raced, or is it going to be more of
This
a?
is more of a street, go to a car show kind of a car.
I gotcha.
Could have a mild motor, could have a, something like this little big block over here, a mild big block. Could have a 6-cylinder, who knows?
Yes, sir.
Whatever is kind of hot roddy, I think this is a car that would really fit that kind of a background. It was originally green, so that's a pretty sexy color for that era. Might even be a good two-tone car, but typically this was one of the more cheaper versions of what you could buy as a work truck back in '57.
Yes, sir. Even throw with the seat folded down. I imagine even throw like a 6-foot ladder in there, and there are probably options for roof racks
There's
and.
a two-piece. Now, some of these have one piece. This happens to be a two-piece tailgate. These things, they need some repair, but these usually rot and are in pretty tough shape.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, we'll just do what we got to do to make this a nice, clean-looking hot rod. Set it down maybe a little bit, put a little bigger tire on the back end of it, put a little narrower tire up front.
Oh yeah.
Put some disc brakes on it, some good steering assembly so we can stop and turn. But yeah, this is just a local project that'll keep a handful of us busy doing a restoration or doing a hot rodding and that kind of a thing.
Yes, sir.
Remember, it's not a motorcycle; it's a hot rod.
That's right. That's
We
right.
can put a roll cage in here if we want to.
Yes, we learned there are no roll cages on motorcycles.
You got it. So that's kind of a overview of what's going on here locally at Rosebush Racing.
Yes, sir. We look forward to see where this is going.
Beautiful.
Hey, appreciate y'all watching this series with Roger. I've put the links in the description with his Facebook, his YouTube channel, and his Instagram. Also has his website if you want to check that out. Once again, we appreciate it, and I would like to thank Roger once again for inviting us into his shop and letting us chat with him and sharing his wealth of information. It's an honor. Thank you, Roger.